So, finally, the PlayStation 5 Pro has been officially revealed after months of speculation and pretty spot-on leaks from Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming. We knew what to expect generally in terms of specifications, but now we finally got the reveal of the look of the console, its release date, and its price. First of all, the look of it. This got leaked a few weeks ago, but it's basically the same, albeit slightly better with these 3 lines across it. The equivalent of racing stripes on a console that looks like a modem. It's still ugly and I imagine just as big as the standard one, but hey, it's not like we're going to get a better looking mid-gen refresh when the base console is so ugly to begin with. The PlayStation 5 Pro is coming out in just under 2 months on the 7th of November. Who other than lead architect Mark Cerny to present this console? He talked about the graphics modes in the game where players choose between fidelity and performance modes. Fidelity mode is obviously the better looking mode with higher resolution but comes at a cost with lower frame rate. Mark Cerny, correctly of course, mentioned that the visuals are typically choppier and controls less responsive in the fidelity mode. Performance mode is obviously where you get the more smoother gaming experience at 60 frames per second. What's interesting is that Mark Cerny stated that 3/4 of players on PlayStation actually picked performance mode, a very important metric. So on this basis, Mark Cerny pitched the PS5 Pro by removing that choice players need to make so that they can have the best of both worlds, high quality visuals at the frame rate they want. Now, it all remains to be seen how this actually works out in practice. What didn't really instill much confidence in me was the fact that in this presentation, he used games like The Last of Us 2, essentially a PS4 game, to show that stuff off, along with Ratchet & Clank, Gran Turismo, Spider-Man, and Horizon. It would be nice to see some more power-hungry games to see how this new machine fares. Something running on Unreal Engine 5, for instance. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the PS5 has awful performance, and something like Black Myth Wukong would be nice. These are third-party titles, so it'd be a bit trickier, but it would make a more definitive case. You're asking us to spend quite a lot of money here, more on that in a bit, and now you're showing off these older games. It doesn't really make for a compelling proposition, even though in practice the console may well perform admirably. Who knows? Mark Cerny then talked about what Sony call the Big Three. These are larger GPU, advanced ray tracing, and AI-driven upscaling. There's a larger GPU now in the Pro that offers up to 45% rendering. Notice how there was no mention of the CPU in this entire presentation, huh? What do you make of that, ponies? And then, what's the second bit? Oh yeah, advanced ray tracing. Yeah, that means ray tracing that can take place at double or triple the speeds of the PS5, according to Mark. Finally, PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short, which is an AI-driven upscaling solution, basically to boost resolution in games. So, Mark Cerny says in the presentation that you're going to get fidelity levels of detail at 60 FPS. It's a shame that The Last of Us Part 2, a game that is like 4 years old, led the charge. But so sharper images at higher frame rates. Okay, that's the baseline expectation of a mid-gen console anyway. The better ray tracing is something I particularly liked. Gran Turismo 7, for instance, is finally supporting ray tracing on track. That to me is quite impressive because that's not a feature that's available on the base PS5. That's it. 9 minutes. 9 minutes, and this was it. The way to reveal your much talked about PS5 Pro? Pretty basic and dry if you ask me. Now onto the big one. The price. If you give PlayStation an inch, it will take a mile. Then it will take 3 more miles. Xbox basically bowing out of the competition in the console space by allowing its games to come out on PS5 basically means Sony can relax, and Sony knows it. At the start of this generation, Sony had to match the price of the Xbox Series X, which then it later increased anyway. But now, there is no mid-gen refresh coming from Xbox, so Sony can take the piss. And guess what? It has £700 for the digital price of this console. That doesn't even include the one with a disc drive, which is going to be around 800 quid. Heck, it doesn't even include the stand. For God's sake, if you're spending £700, chuck in the bloody stand in there, Sony, you cheap bastards. £700 is a hefty price for a gaming console. I can't remember the last time a console even launched at that price. It's really quite a lot. Now, me having given away my PS5 and thinking of buying a Pro, I'm just wondering whether it's even worth it. It's Grand Theft Auto 6 that's really making me want to get one, because the Pro will be the best version of that game, and GTA 6 is GTA 6. And the PC version is coming much later. But Sony didn't even show any new games, so nothing is really compelling me to buy this other than GTA 6. And expect this kind of shafting from PlayStation to continue to happen. This right here is evidence of the beginning of Sony taking the piss. Heck, just a few days ago, they increased the price of the bloody controllers by about 10 quid. Would it even surprise me if Sony started charging higher for Pro versions of the game? Absolutely not. They charge you 80 quid for a Pro version of the game. Just tell everyone you heard it here first. Sony, please don't get any ideas, but I'm pretty sure you had that anyway. As soon as the price was revealed, most were in shock regarding the price, from the live chat that was in disbelief to all the commentators laughing at it. It's a big reason why Jeff Keighley's public Twitter poll rated the show a D. Now, PlayStation is supposed to have a State of Play showing next week, and some rumors are suggesting that there won't even be any first-party games being revealed. I refuse to believe that, only because there are limits to how much Sony should be able to take the piss. You've revealed a new bit of hardware at an eye-watering price, and you're not even going to show any first-party titles running on it, new ones, to make a case for this console. A lot of people say that this is the console for enthusiasts anyway, it's not for the mass market. Right, so the enthusiasts should surely be demanding more bang for their buck, no? At the end of the day, in 2 months, PlayStation with the Pro will have the most powerful console out there. Not like Xbox ever capitalized on the power difference in any meaningful way anyway, barring Warhammer, which I love that game. But that does lead to an awkward couple of years for Xbox, where its titles that are on PS5 will run better on the former competitor's machine, as well as most third parties. So what do you think? Do you think £700 is justified? If so, why? Do you even think this is going to sell a decent amount? Comparable to the PS4 Pro? Less? More sales? Let me know in the comments below, and hit that like button and subscribe. And tell me if you're going to buy this. Peace.